Hi everyone, I hope that all of you are doing really great. So in the previous video what we have seen is we have installed our VS Code and we have set up our Java compiler, means our JDK, so that we can work with our Java programming. So first of all, we have done a basic code that is our hello world. So if I run this one, you can see that hello world is being printed here, right? So now I have not explained you like what are classes, what are functions. So all these things are left, and we will be starting with the basics. Like if you don't know Java programming or any programming language, so it will be easy for you to understand. So VS Code is already set up to, for you, I guess, because if you have not seen the previous video, so you can check that out and you can like download the VS Code. So in this video we will be explaining like what are classes and what are variables, what are the different types of variables and all these things, right? So like what are classes? Now as you all know that Java is an object oriented programming language, and in Java we have like classes, and inside classes we have different objects and we have different functions and all these things which works. And so a class is like a container in which like a class is a container in which different things can be stored of which are having same properties. Like a class in which we can have different methods like which have same properties. So if I show you an image, so it will be better for you to understand. Like you can see that there is a class named person, and in this person there are two things. First of all, there are data members, and you can see there are two persons, right? One is a girl and one is a boy. So both are having same properties like their name, their age, their gender, both are same for both the persons, right? So that is what we call that having the same properties, but they both are different actually. Like the first one is a boy having different name, age, cities, and the second one having different things, right? And inside these classes we have different data types, like we have variables like name, age, city, gender, and we have different methods like eat, study, sleep, play, right? So I think that now class is clear to you. Now what is class and what these things is, I hope that you have got it right. So now inside this class, this was the basic program, that is class test, and we have a main function. Now whenever we write a class, there is a main function which executes all the time, and inside this main function whatever we write here, that's get executed. So like we can define other functions like other functions like or methods like main, but the main is the name which has been assigned first, and you can define other functions also like which will be executed inside this one. And here we are writing a print statement through which you can print the hello world. So now we will try to understand what are variables. Now let me delete this print statement first. So now if I move on to the variables part. Now what are variables? Variables are like a container in which we specify a name to them, and according to that name we can store some values that we want to store in it. So like if I want to store some integer value like some numbers like 20 or something in our memory, so I simply assign a value to a name, like if I write here int number equals to 20. So this thing means that I am assigning a value that is 20 to this number, right? So that's here. So now if I print this number, like if I write system.out.println, and if I print here number, so and let me run this one, so you can see that 20 will get printed here. So you can see that 20 is printed. Now see this thing, the number equals to 20, this means that we are defining a name that is number in which we are storing a value that is 20, and all these things in the memory it is saved in bytes. And so if I show you this thing, like how this thing works, that is you can see here, like here it is given age equals to 20, the 20 is the value, age is the variable name, and int means the integer is the data type like what we want, and this 20 is saved in the memory or in the RAM, you can see this one. So that is how we define any variable like in which we want to work with. So now if I want, like, we can do like this also. Like first line I am writing this one simply int number, and in the second line means this line means we are initializing the variable, but we are not assigning any value to this variable. So to assign the value we can write like this also, number equals to 20 in the next line, right? And if I print this one, so now it will print 20. Now if you want to see one thing, like we can also write number equals to 10. So now you might be thinking which one will print, which one will be printed actually. In this case what will happen is, if I cut this one and if I write the 10 after, okay, so what will happen here is, first of all we are assigning 20 to this number, and then we are writing another line, that is we are assigning 10 to this number. So what will happen is, it will replace the 20 with 10, means the position is same. Like in a container we are taking rice and then we are finishing it off, and then we are putting some other thing like water in that container. So what will be happen when we will print at the last, so water will be printed like that only. We are assigning here 20 and then we are assigning 10. This means that in the memory this 20 will be removed first and then 10 will be assigned to that memory, and we can identify it with the name, that is number. And if I print this one, you will be seeing that it will print 10. So you can see that it has printed 10. Okay, so like this is how we work with variables. Now there are different types of variables. I have showed you integer. Now let me show you a list like where different variables are there. So you can see that these are data types, these are the range of valid values, and memory, like how much memory does it occupies to store the value inside it. So first of all you can see the data type is byte. Its range is from -128 to 127, and in memory volume it takes 1 byte. Then after bytes there is short, that is from -3276 to 3276. Each, you can see one thing that is common, range started from negative and its end at positive at the same point, means from 128 to 127, with 32768 to 32767, means the starting is 8, the end is 7. So you can understand, like the range is like that only for each and every data types. And for short we are having a memory volume of 2 bytes. Now for integer you can see that we are having like minus this one to plus this one, and it takes a 4 byte volume. In long 8 byte. In float it is from this to this, and in character it occupies this one. In character it is different. The range is not from negative, it is from positive only. And in Boolean we are having two things, that is true or false. There is no like we can't store anything like number or anything. We have to store things like true or false. Only these two are allowed in Boolean. And one more thing is there, that is string, in which we can like add things. Okay, so I will also show you the string part. In the image here is no string shown. So let's move on to the code and let's write things one by one, like the different variables and with the different types. So I have defined a number, so let me remove this one and I will simply write here 10. Okay, so it will be understandable for you. So if I try to make you understand like this, first of all what we are doing here is, let me write it here so it will be easy for you to understand. So this one, that is variable, this one is the value that we are assigning, and this one is the data type. Okay, so I think that this one is now clear a little bit, that what are the different things, that is integer, what are the variable, and how the value is stored. And here if I clear this one, and here we are having a print statement to print it, to print the variable. Okay, so now I think that it is understandable. So yeah, I will define different variable with the different data types, right? So it will be clear for all the data types. So now first I have defined integer, then I will write string. Okay, string, and I will give it name, so it will be easy to understand. Okay, these are all the different data types. First of all, integer, then string, then character, then double, then float, then boolean. I hope that I have not missed any of them. So these are the different variables. Now let me show you the uses of this variable one by one. So first of all, I will be printing this all, so you can see that all gets printed, right? So it will be easy to understand this thing. So yeah, so these are all the things, and I have also given the print statement. So if I run this one, you will be able to see that it has printed all the things: 10, then Rishav, A, 20.4, 20, and true. Now let me close this one. So if I close this one, yeah. So now let me tell you the things, like for what we use what things, and in variables how to use that things. So first one is integer. I have told you that integer is used like to like the data is number, simple numbers. We can have any numbers. And one more thing that I have skipped here, that is long. Let me write long also. Now let us understand one by one all the things. What are the different data types? First one that you can see, that is a integer. And integer, I have already told you that to store any value we use an integer data type. Like we store a value like numbers like 100, then age. For that case we use an integer. Then we are having a long, that is long is used for basically storing large number, like someone's phone number. If we want to store that one, we use long, because in integer we can't use such long values. Okay, so for that, like storing someone's phone number or something like that, which is very large, we use long data type. Okay, and then string is basically most important part. String is used to store any alphabetical sentence, then word, letters, and all the things are stored in string. In string we can have, like I have written my name, and you can write anything like hello world that we have printed, that is also a string. And all the things that are related to sentence, word, all the things we write it in string format. Okay, so string is defined for that. After that you can see there is a character, and character is basically single letter. Now if you want to define here like someone's name, we can't write it because name is not allowed in the character. We can simply write a single word like A, B, and anything. Single alphabet is accepted in character format. Okay, so this one has been also done, the character. And the next one is double. Now in integer we can't store any point value. Okay, we can't store any point value in integer or in long, but in this one that is in the double, we can store it. So this thing means that in double, like if we have calculations like in which we are getting point values, so for that case we use actually double. Okay, and in float also that is the same thing, that is we define a float for having a point value, and its space is a bit short, so we use float actually. And the last one, that is our boolean, that is having only two things, as I have told you, that is one is true and other one is false. So it has only two values. We can either give it true or we can either give it false. And this is basically used for statement conditions, like where we want to check that whether the value is true or false. So for that we use boolean type. Okay, so yeah, that this is all the variables, and I hope that it is like clear to you. And I have given the print statement to print all these things. So yeah, that is it. So I hope that variables are clear right now, and I hope that you have learned new things from this video. So yeah, subscribe my channel if you like this video, and hit the like button, and click on the bell notification to get the notification whenever I share a new video. Yeah, so that's it for today, and keep practicing. This thing you can't learn actually, this thing comes from practice. So yeah, that's all. Keep practicing, and bye bye, have a great day.